Hey, I'd like to welcome you back to the channel. This is going to be one of those, I would say, informative videos. It's the what to do in case you get pulled over by a police and he say he smell marijuana. Hey, a lot of instances, this may get you out of trouble.
A cop just told you he smells weed in your car, and you're about to say the one thing that completely destroys you. Before I go any further, have you ever been in this exact situation before? Drop a yes or no in the comments right now. Seriously, it takes 2 seconds, and it helps me know I am actually reaching people who genuinely need this information. Okay, let us get into it. Here is what most people do not understand about this moment. When an officer says he smells marijuana, the entire energy of that traffic shifts in an instant. That one sentence is not small talk. It is the beginning of a legal process that most drivers have zero idea how to handle. Here's what most people do wrong. They panic. They start talking. They say things like, I can explain, or it was just one time, or my friend was in here last week. Every single one of those responses is a gift to that officer. You're handing him exactly what he needs to make your situation dramatically worse. This is exactly where things fall apart. Your brain is telling you to cooperate and explain yourself. It feels like the right move. It feels like honesty will protect you. But talking in that moment is almost always the single worst decision you can make. Most drivers have no idea this is even a thing. The smell of marijuana alone sits in a legal gray area in many states right now, with weed being legal in some states and illegal in others. The rules about what an officer can and cannot do based on smell alone are genuinely complicated. That gray area can work in your favor, but only if you know how to use it.
I always know the marijuana laws in your city, your state, especially if you smoke. If you don't smoke, you don't have no problem with it. But those that smoke, please be aware.
How to use it. The laws around this have been changing every single year. What was true 5 years ago may not be true today in your state. Some places treat the smell of marijuana the same as a six-pack of open beer on the seat. Other places say smell alone is not enough to justify a full vehicle search. You need to know how to protect yourself regardless of where you live. And today, that is exactly what you're going to learn. I have spent a serious amount of time going through real traffic stop recordings. I have read through actual court documents and studied body cam footage from stops, exactly like the one I am describing to you right now. The pattern I keep seeing is always the same. Drivers do not lose because of what the officer found. They lose because of what the driver said in the first 60 seconds of that conversation, every single time. Here is the first move. Call it the stay calm and give nothing rule. Most people think staying silent looks guilty. That belief has sent more innocent people to court than I can count. When the officer makes his smell comment, your first instinct is going to scream at you to explain yourself or deny everything. You need to fight that instinct hard. Your silence is not a crime. Repeat that to yourself right now. Silence is not a crime. Anything you say in that car can be used against you later in a courtroom. That means in front of a judge and possibly a jury. Your exact words can be written down in a police report and read out loud months later. The officer is not asking you questions to help you understand the situation. He is asking questions to build a case against you. So when he says he smells something, your response needs to be short, calm, and give him absolutely nothing to work with. Say exactly.
I always remember to say, you don't consent. And I always ask if you're free to go. Sometimes that's all it takes. And you can be on your way.
To work with. Say exactly this. Officer, I do not consent to any searches. Am I free to go? That is the whole sentence. No extra words after it. No, but I swear, or honestly, I have not, or any of that. Just those 12 words. This phrase puts your position on the official record immediately. It tells the officer, the dash cam, and the body cam that you know your rights and you are exercising them. It does not make you sound guilty. It makes you sound like someone who has done this before. Officers know that people who know their rights are going to be much harder to pressure. You are already ahead of most drivers just by having this one sentence ready. Now this next one is where most people completely fall apart. Call it the never touch that question move. The officer looks at you and says, I smell marijuana. Have you been smoking today? And almost every driver in the country answers that question. They say yes, or they say no, or they say something in between, like, not today, but maybe earlier. Every single one of those answers is a problem. If you say yes, you just handed him a confession out of thin air. If you say no and he does not believe you, now you have a credibility issue on top of everything else. If you hedge and say something vague, you have just given him even more reason to dig deeper. There's no version of an answer to that question that actually helps you. None. So the move is to not answer it at all. The Fifth Amendment protects you here. The Fifth Amendment is your constitutional right to stay silent. You do not have to answer questions that could get you in trouble. That right exists specifically for moments like this one. Say exactly this. Officer, I respectfully decline to answer questions without an attorney present. Read that sentence again. You're not being aggressive. You're not cursing or arguing or making accusations. You are using a calm, professional sentence that tells the officer you understand your rights. This phrase is powerful because it shuts down the question without escalating anything. It also prevents you from saying something that sounds harmless in the moment but becomes a huge problem in a courtroom 6 weeks later. Most people talk themselves directly into handcuffs. You're not going to do that. Real quick, if nobody has ever told you any of this before, give this video a thumbs up right now. Most people go their entire lives without knowing even one of these things. Let us change that together. Here's the third move. This one is called The Phone is Your Witness Play. And this is where things get really powerful in your favor. You have the right to record your own traffic stop in most states across the country. Body. Cameras and dash cams exist on the officer's side of the car. Your phone is your camera on your side. When the situation feels like it is getting serious, pull your phone out calmly and put it somewhere with a clear view of the interaction. Do not hide it. Do not be sneaky about it. Be completely open about it. Now, before I keep going, I want to be completely upfront about something important. Everything I'm sharing with you today is for educational purposes only. This is not legal advice, and I am not your lawyer. Every state has different laws. Every situation has different details. If you are dealing with something serious, please talk to a licensed attorney in your state. They can look at your exact situation in a way that I simply cannot from here. A real lawyer who knows your state's laws is worth every penny. Okay, now back to the phone. When you record openly, the officer is fully aware that a second camera is running. People behave differently when they know they are being recorded. That is just human nature. If anything goes wrong during that stop, you now have your own record of every single word that was said and every single action that was taken. Say exactly this. Officer, I'm recording this interaction for both our protection. Notice how that phrase does not sound like a challenge. It sounds professional. It sounds like someone who takes their own safety seriously. Your phone recording has changed the outcome of traffic stop situations more times than most people will ever know. That little device in your pocket might genuinely be your most powerful protection in that car. Now the fourth move. This might honestly be the most important one in the whole video. Call it the hands never say yes rule. Here's the most common disaster I see play out on these recordings over and over again. The officer says he smells something, then he asks the driver to pop the trunk, or open the glove box, or reach back and unzip that bag on the back seat. And the driver does it, without hesitation, without saying a single word, just reaches back and opens it up. Here is why that is catastrophic. The second you physically open something in response to an officer's request, you have just given what is called voluntary consent to a search. Consent means you said yes, you gave permission. Even though you never said a word, your action said yes for you.
And remember, don't never volunteer to do nothing. Open nothing, talk about nothing, say nothing. Never volunteer. Keep everything closed. Let them go and do their job.
Your action said yes for you. And once that yes is on the record, whether it came from your voice or your hands, you cannot take it back. Everything the officer finds after that moment is legally fair game. Your physical action of opening that compartment is treated in court the same way as you verbally agreeing to let him search. Courts have ruled on this repeatedly. A driver who opens their own trunk, console, or bag upon the officer's request has given consent. So never open anything. Not the trunk, not a bag, not a pocket, on a jacket, on the back seat. Nothing. Say exactly this. Officer, I do not consent to any searches of my vehicle. Say it slowly. Say it clearly. Look him directly in the eye when you say it. This phrase creates an official record of your refusal. If the officer searches your car anyway after you say those words, and he does not have a warrant, your attorney will have something real and solid to work with in court. Your refusal does not always stop a determined officer from searching, but it absolutely and completely changes what happens after that search in a courtroom. This one rule alone.
That's why it's always important to keep your phone running. Always record every interaction, especially if you don't have one of those in-car dash recorders, something that can record the inside of the car and the outside at the same time, because it'll be their word against yours. Your word stands stronger when you have video evidence.
This one rule alone has gotten cases dismissed. I need to ask you something right now. Is there someone in your life, a parent, a sibling, a close friend, a younger brother or sister who just started driving, who gets behind the wheel every single day with zero knowledge of any of this? Share this video with them right now, not after you finish watching. Right now. Open up your messages or your social media and send this to them. This information is completely free, and most people will never find it on their own unless someone they trust shows it to them. Be that person. And here is the fifth move. This one is called the side of the road is not the battlefield play. So let us say you have done everything right up to this point. You stayed calm. You did not answer the smell question. You had your phone recording. You refused to open anything. And now the officer says he is calling for a drug detection dog. Or he says he has probable cause to search the vehicle right now. Probable cause means he is claiming he has enough reason to search without needing your permission. Those words can hit you like a punch to the chest. Your heart is going to race. You're going to want to argue. You are going to want to explain. You might even want to get loud. Do not do any of that. Do not physically resist anything. Do not raise your voice. Do not make sudden movements. Not because you are giving up, but because the side of the road is not where you win this fight. The courtroom is where you win. An argument on the street does not help you. A well-documented refusal that your attorney can bring into court absolutely does. Stay calm. Repeat your non-consent out loud one more time so it is captured on both cameras. And the moment you are either released or placed under arrest, immediately start writing down every detail you can remember. The exact time, the exact location, every word the officer said, his badge number and patrol car number if you can see them, the name of anyone else who was there. Every single detail matters, and your memory starts fading faster than you think right after a stressful event. Say exactly this: I do not consent to this search. I'm complying under protest. This phrase is incredibly important. It tells the record that your body is cooperating to avoid a physical confrontation, but your legal position has not changed. You're not agreeing to anything. You're surviving the moment on the street so you can win the fight the right way in a courtroom. That is not weakness. That is the smartest possible move you can make. You just went through 5 moves that the vast majority of drivers will simply never know. Let me bring it all together so it sticks. The first move is to stay calm and give nothing because your silence is not guilt and it is not your enemy. The second move is to never answer the smell question because there is no version of that answer that actually works in your favor. The third move is to record everything openly because your phone is a witness that never forgets and never gets intimidated. The fourth move is to never open anything because your hands can give consent just as easily as your mouth can. And the fifth move is to stay composed, repeat your non-consent, and save the real fight for the courtroom where the rules actually work in your direction. You now know something that most drivers will never know. You are not helpless in that moment anymore. That one comment about a smell does not have to be the beginning of the end for you. Not even close. You walked into this video with nothing. You are leaving with 5 real tools that can actually protect you. Here's your challenge. The next time you get pulled over, use at least one of these moves. Then come back to this exact video and tell me in the comments exactly what happened. What did you say? How did the officer respond? How did the stop end? I read every single comment on this channel. Everyone. And your real story in the comments could be exactly what the next person needs to see to get through their own situation with their rights still intact. Your experience shared here becomes protection for someone you will never even meet. Stay sharp, know your rights, and never let 4 words from an officer cost you everything you are legally allowed to keep.
Well, that's the end of the video, y'all. I hope this helps someone. And if it does, hey, send me a comment and share this with anybody you feel that needs this information. I mean, anyone. Because, hey, sometimes it's us that got to keep us out of trouble. Peace.